Tall Man Clan, welcome to the show. I'm Robert, aka the Tall Man. This is my lovely wife, Lisa, and we are coming to you live right now from this very moment from the MSC Seaside, somewhere just a little bit south and west of Miami. We are on our way back to Port Canaveral. In the morning, we will be docked and getting off this ship. Our cruise is coming to an end, which means our live broadcasts from this ship are also coming to an end. Speaking of, that's actually where we are. If it'll focus in, I don't know, right? There you go. Anyway, so tonight we want to give you a wrap up of our 7 days and talk about MSC and should you or should you not book your cruise vacations with MSC. But before, if this is your first time finding our videos, you know what to do, right? Hit the thumbs up, right? Subscribe, become part of the Tall Man Clan. Costs you nothing. And we would sincerely appreciate it. It does help out the channel. And of course, we can't go any further until we show you balcony cam. That is the view outside of our balcony. Actually, it's the view from last night. Right now, tonight, it is so windy. Woo! Yeah. We can't put the camera out there. So we have a recording from the other night. So we just put, but it's the same view. Same view. Just, it's too windy. Okay? So one last bit of business before we get into, oh, see my hand, right? I'm here, but that was my hand. Giveaway. Sorry. Is a few things about the cabins. Comfortability, right? We showed you all the cabins, but we really didn't talk about them a lot. So let's talk about beds first. I would say the beds were very comfortable, a little bit firm, but not, oh my God, going to hurt your back firm.
Yes.
However, the pillows are a bit strange. They feel like sleeping on a balloon. It's weird.
A little bit.
Put your head in the middle and go, and I know it's very strange.
Yeah, it's almost like there's some stuff inside, but there's also air trapped in. So there, yeah.
It's very strange.
It is.
Yeah. But the bed himself. Other than that, the rooms, are very nice.
Yeah.
Bathrooms, again, a little small, a little snug, but very nice.
I will say, compared to some of the ones that we've been in, you have decent floor space inside the bathroom. They've just made the shower a little bit smaller so that you can maneuver around. But I guess you spend more time not in the shower when you're in the restroom. Yeah. I don't know, but yeah, the showers are snug.
I dropped something and bent over, hit my head on the towel rack in there.
Did you?
So you might think there's plenty of room in there, but
well, yeah,
you're not 6'4".
But the shower's definitely snug.
Yes. So there's one other thing. There's one other thing about the room. So a lot of cabins, you'll have like a do not disturb sign that you can put on the outside of the door, or make up your cabin, whatever it is. So here it's a little bit different. This is just inside your cabin. There's these two buttons. The DND means do not disturb. When you press that, if you look outside, the blue light comes on outside the cabin. When you turn it off, then of course it goes off. That's to let the people outside know, do not disturb. If you want the room made up, you press the other button, you see the other light went on, and of course it went off. The other thing that this doesn't really show is to make the lights all work and everything, you have to put your key card in the slot. Now, bringing an extra key from another cruise or a credit card, that does not work here. Only the key card from this cruise ship. If we ever go on them again, we'll bring these keys back to see if they work again, but none of the other keys that we have with us from other ships worked, and or credit cards. Okay, so one of the keys will have to be in there. But when the key is in there, that also lets somebody know on the outside. There's a light lit up. It shows red that there's somebody in the cabin. When you pull that key when you leave, it goes green. It lets the room stewards know that they can come in.
Yes,
okay?
Exactly.
So there's a little bit about the cabins that we have not discussed. So let's get into the actual MSC Cruises, right? Without delving too deep, I'm actually, this is how I feel. Ready? Lisa?
Same.
Right. So
I would happily go on another MSC cruise.
Absolutely. We have enjoyed our time here immensely. When we were at dinner tonight talking about it, and I would view this as celebrity type service on a Carnival type budget. Okay. If you need further description, we've got a balcony cabin that costs us like $1,500 for a 7-day cruise, which is about what it costs with Carnival. Any other 7-day cruise on some of the other lines, you're getting into the $2,500–3,000 range for the balcony. So the service-wise, again, going back to Celebrity, the service is a little bit better, right? A little bit higher up, if you will, catered to you a little bit more on Celebrity than, again, you would a Carnival or, say, a Royal. Mm-hmm. The service here has honestly been impeccable. We only ran into one crabby guy, and that was on day one. Okay. So other than that, it's been great. And we'll give you a few. I'll give you a nugget. For instance, tonight we were done with dinner. we ate a lot.
Yeah, we did. Should we tell them how much we ate?
we had every appetizers, all the appetizers they offered, and 2 entrees.
Yeah.
So, or a total of 3 entrees. She had one, I had one, and then we shared one because we wanted to try it. And so it came time for dessert. Everybody get out your desserts. It's time for dessert. Everybody get your desserts. Limoncello was Italian night, so we had limoncello. We asked if we could take it back to the cabin, and our waiter was like, who we've had the entire time. I've been making fun. He doesn't get it. It's so funny. Anyway, he's like, was your food good? No, it was horrible. Bring another. He's like, huh? It's okay. It's good. Anyway, so we were finished with dinner. We're so full. We said, hey, is it okay if we bring our desserts back to the cabin? He's like, I don't know. I'll have to ask. And I was like, well, that was a strange answer. That's what I was thinking. So he leaves. He comes back and says, nope, not a problem. We'll have the dessert sent to your room. I'm like, and he walked away. And I said, did he just say he was going to send the desserts to the room? And sure enough, he grabbed them, put the lids on there, brought them to another waiter. And that waiter walked up to our cabin with us. I was like, that's not something you get on a lot of cruise lines these days.
Yeah.
Okay. Cabin stewards, twice a day. Once in the morning, once in the evening. Sort of the way it used to be.
Yeah.
Right? Hang on. Oh, by the way, here. For those watching, I want you to take a good look at this. All right? That is limoncello. Okay? And then this is from the buffet. And that's called Lemon Delight. I don't know about you, but they look exactly the same to me. But let's give it a taste real quick. Hang on.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm all about that for
sure.
sure.
Oh, my God. I might be full, but I'm not too full to have some of this. Oh, yeah.
You brought your desserts.
Chase that down with some lemonade. All right. So,
that's good, guys.
Our recommendations, book MSC. Mm-hmm. But there's a few things you should be aware of.
Yes.
Unlike the rest of the cruises, they are not impervious to mistakes. All right? And they're going to make some mistakes. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about a couple of them. They ran out of ketchup on day one.
Yeah.
It's just the strangest thing that they ran out of ketchup on day one. If you just have to have ketchup on your stuff, maybe you don't want to come here because maybe they run out of ketchup frequently. I don't know. But on a side note, they decided to try to make ketchup. It was about
too bad.
60–70% there.
Yeah.
It wasn't too bad. The effort was more important to me than the flavor of what they delivered.
Yeah.
Right?
Agreed.
So there was that. We ran out of butter this morning. Their provisioning officer obviously needs some schooling on how to provision the ship. I'm not saying that in a mean way. It just, you shouldn't be running out of things. We are at what we would call currently capacity. The ship holds right around 5,000 people if you're filling up every berth, right? But if it's like double occupancy, it's very close or just a little bit over 4,000. We are sailing at 4,000 passengers, a few more. There are actually several cabins that are not inhabitable at this point because they're rehabbing them and stuff, which is a thing they are actually constantly doing. So as far as available cabins for sleeping, the ship is packed. So at 4,000 people, I don't know if this is the first time they've been at 4,000 people, but whatever their provisioning officer, has missed the boat a couple times. All puns intended.
At least the provisions missed the boat.
Yeah, provisions missed the boat. Oh, we're set and sail without the ketchup and without the butter. Food. In the main dining, to be honest, food was amazing.
Yeah.
It was really, really good. Much better than some of the other cruise lines we've recently been on in the main dining. One asterisk to that. I ordered a steak one night in the main dining. It's one of their, go-to meals you can have every night. A sirloin. It was not very good.
They are very, very thin. And when you're dealing with thin steaks, I'm sure you're aware that it is very hard to get, your medium rare, your rare. It's very hard to get that in a very thin steak. And of course, this one likes his medium rare.
Well, it wasn't just that too. It was very gristly. It wasn't a very good cut of meat.
Yeah.
So beside that, it was very, very thin. So the main dining, the buffet. We only had food at the buffet for breakfast and a couple times for lunch. Please remember, the main buffet is on deck 8. Don't go up to the top looking for the buffet. There's a small one up there, but you'll be disappointed.
You'll get hamburgers and hot dogs.
Yeah, you got to go down to deck 8.
Yeah.
So the buffet on deck 8, it's a big square, and the food does not necessarily repeat itself. So if you're looking for every day they're going to have something carved. That's all the way in the back, okay? Mm-hmm. So you got to do a full circle, okay?
You do.
Mm-hmm. There. The dinners. I can't tell you if they serve the same dinner in the buffet as they do in the restaurant because we never have gone there for dinner. However, tonight when Lisa went up there to get us some drinks and these desserts, she did do a walk around, and the food that was in the buffet was different than the food served at the main dining, okay? So there is your main dining. Your upscale dining, I would not go. I would not spend the money. I would not book those. Though the meat that we had was very good. I mean, it was not worth those dollars whatsoever. Mm-hmm. The service there did lack. It's the only place that it really did lack, and it's the one place where you would expect it to be even better. It was not. So I could not recommend going to any. Well, we only went to 2, the teppanyaki and the Butcher's Cut, but we've heard several people talk about the seafood restaurant, which is called Ocean's Key or Ocean's K, and they didn't have anything nice to say about it either. So if you come on board, stay away from the specialty restaurants, just eat in the main dining or the buffet, and you're going to be very, very happy. Okay? Entertainment. There's entertainment all over the ship. Everybody's been wonderful. What I also find interesting, excuse me, everybody, let me get a drink. They do 4 production shows on this ship.
Yeah.
4 of them. There's one tonight, the final night. Normally on the final night, it's kind of like a little goodbye thing. Full-blown production show tonight, which we have scheduled to go. If you missed that stream, it doesn't cost any money, but you have to make a reservation on the app. You have to do it, or they're not letting you in. They scan your key card, okay, to see if you've made the reservations. As long as you've made the reservations, you go through the door. If not, you're off to the side. You got to wait, okay? The theater is very, very small. Hey, Macrina!
Hi, Macrina.
Welcome! Yay! We'll give a little applause for Macrina being there. We missed y'all. Miss ya. Anyway, so so please make sure you make reservations if you want to go to the shows. Another nice thing they've done, and I've never seen a cruise line do this either. They've had so many people wanting to go to the shows, they can't get them all in the theater. So they added a 3rd performance every single night. So they're now doing 3 shows a night, 4 nights in a row. You just don't see that on other cruise lines. Now, the quality of the shows. The first show we saw was amazing. Yeah. The second show that we saw put me to sleep. We didn't see the one last night because I was still sleeping from the night before.
But let's make sure that we clarify that.
You clarify. I'm eating
limoncello. So you eat your limoncello.
Wow.
So the performers were amazing. They were vocalists, and
You're talking about the second show that bored us to death.
Yeah, the second show that bored you to death. Yes, the performance, the singers, the vocals were amazing. What was the boring part about it is the vocalists are on this huge stage with nothing going around behind them. So if you love to listen to the music for just the music, you would absolutely love it. If you like to be entertained and to have that visual aspect, then you're going to be asleep with this one.
Yeah, it really wasn't, I wouldn't consider it a show. It was really just a vocal performance. The only thing they were missing is the band.
Yeah.
And it was literally almost like going to a club to see a band. Because they would sing like 5, 6, 7-minute ballad with nothing going on behind them. Just one dude out there singing or two people doing a duet.
Yeah.
And then there was once in the show where they did 2 back to back. And so for like 10 to 14 minutes, just 2 singers standing out there singing. I'm like, did you run out of time and couldn't think of anything else to do? That's really what I felt. You know, coming from an entertainer background, I feel I know how these things get put together, right? So, and then the other times they'd sing for 2 or 3 minutes, and then somebody would come out onto the stage for the last minute or two, dancers or whatever. It was poorly put together as a show, but from, as she said, from a talent standpoint, the singers were amazing.
They
really were great.
Yeah.
On key, on pitch, the harmonies, they were really great.
Yeah, they nailed it.
And even the dancers themselves, with the first show that we saw, when they were dancing, they got some talent. It's just a matter of what are they taught to do with the talent, right? So, but we're going to get a third show tonight. It's, I don't know if it's a full tribute or whatever, but it has something to do with Michael Jackson. And those who know me...
No, he's not going to miss anything, Michael Jackson.
I probably shouldn't go. They're in trouble now. Anyway, I actually created and produced a show called The Ultimate Thriller. It is a Michael Jackson tribute concert. I've taken it all over the world. It has been one of the bigger, best musical things I've done in my life. So I am all down with all things Michael Jackson. So anyway, the next time we come back on, which will be in a couple weeks because we're getting right back on some other ships when we come live again at Macrina, I'm sure you'll be there. If you want to know, I'll tell you. For those joining us new, they'll be like, what are you talking about this other ship from weeks before? It'll be okay. The decor, if you've been watching the whole series, if you're new and you haven't seen, this is our 7th night streaming. We have streamed and shown more content on this ship than any other content creators out there, guys. There's a playlist on our channel. Just search Tall Man's Cruise Adventures. Find that playlist that says MSC Seaside, and you'll see every single ounce and inch of every deck. The only thing that we have not put up yet are the passenger cabin decks. We usually do that after. We literally walk the entire passenger cabin decks, pointing out where all the rooms are in relationship to elevator banks and important things, to include noisy areas. And we point that out so that y'all, if you're thinking about booking, looking at a map is great, but do you really know? And the answer is most times no. So we walk all the decks. So you cannot have a so-so performance doing well, we'll see. You want to know the cruise schedule again? Okay, Macrina, hang on. I don't even have that up right now. Give me a second. The schedule, Robert. There we go. Oh, yeah, that's not going to work. There we go. We are getting on the Celebrity Ascent on December 3rd, which is its inaugural. So it'll be the first ones on there, which is amazing. We love that. We are getting right off that ship and right on to the Symphony of the Seas, which is 10 through 16. And then we have a few days on land, and we fly to Houston to get to Galveston to go on the Carnival Jubilee for its inaugural on the 23rd of December through the 30th. So we'll be spending Christmas at sea for the very first time. We've never done that. We've done New Year's Eve, but we've never done Christmas. So there's that. And there's a couple other little surprises. So make sure you have your notification bells turned on, because You just might all of a sudden we pop up and there we are. Okay, so
don't you love how that happens? We just pop up out of nowhere.
yes, we do. All right, so back to this cruise. Sorry for the autocorrect. Got to have a fabulous MJ do performer do MJ, not a so-so performer. Look, man, MJ might be one of the hardest performers to impersonate or pay tribute to, if you will. I know the impersonators hate that word. They prefer to be called tribute artists, which indeed they certainly are, because Michael Jackson's sort of the triple threat. He's singing, dancing, and look. And trying to find a performer that has all three of those is next to impossible. So 2 out of 3 is good. So I don't think this is that kind of tribute. I think it's probably just one of their dancers on with a wig and a hat.
Probably lip syncing.
Yeah.
I would,
So our show, my guy sang live, and it was dude's amazing. Anyway, but yeah, we'll
shout
know.
out Fabio.
Yeah, shout out to his name's Fabio. He's actually Italian, lives in Italy. Just you can actually see Sicily from where he lives in Reggio de Calabria. So we love Fabio. Yes. Anyway, enough Fabio. Back to the MSC Seaside.
Yes,
squirrel. Whew, that was a long way. Yeah. So from beginning to end, from embarkation all the way through. We have had a fantastic time. We are looking forward to booking another cruise with MSC for sure. Yeah. This is the Seaside, obviously. They have many other ships. I venture to say you will see them constantly improve and become more and more a major player here in the United States, other than just worldwide. By the way, speaking of,
I agree.
The clientele on the ship, customers, us people, the passengers, it is the most mixed group of people I have seen on a ship departing from the United States.
I agree.
I hear all kinds of languages being spoke all over the ship. It is not just one kind or two kinds. It's been great to have such a mixed group of people.
I agree.
There has not been a ton of children either. So if children is a big thing for you, there's not a lot here. Now, mind you, Thanksgiving is just about to happen, so kids are still in school. So I don't know if that plays into it. We'd have to be on one of these ships during the summer or at Christmas or at Thanksgiving, like when they're off school. But because there are kids areas, dedicated kids areas that are very expansive, by the way. There's just not very many kids on the ship.
Yeah,
it's mostly adults and of all ages. Right? So it's not just
And I do want to interject in there too. I seem to remember seeing.
Keep on going.
I do seem to remember seeing hours posted for the children's services, and it does seem like it is not as long as some of the child care hours, children's areas hours on, say, the Carnival ships. So definitely, if you have kids, you want to check into that. Make sure that that's going to work for you, because I did see the reduced hours on there.
Boy, I'm going to eat every bit of that lemon, whatever it is.
You know what? I am too.
I mean, limoncello delight. It's all good. Food,
delightful limoncello.
Yes, it really. You'll have a great time.
It's good. Their desserts are amazing too, by the way.
They are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everything's been great. Oh, the only other I was talking about the provisions officer. A few other things that have gone wrong. We talk about lemonade. They're not very good at keeping those machines full. So they're frequently out of beverages, the self-serve sort of beverages.
That's true.
Which is a little frustrating, but it's a small frustration. In the main
buffet.
In the buffet, the ice machines in these areas are not working either. So they have to put a bowl out with ice in there. They can't keep them full either. And so I would say 50 to 60% of the time I had no ice and no lemonade. And that's, I'm just talking about me. And I gladly went over, just got a little bit of water and moved on. Lisa drinks tea, and I think she only went without tea one time. right?
I believe so.
I went out without lemonade more than I had it.
Now that's the pre-made iced tea. They have always had. They've got 24-hour coffee
and tea
and hot tea available anytime. And I've never seen that run out. The creamers are always there. They're always full. I've never seen any of that. They also have hot milk. So I don't know if that's something that anybody out there is interested in. I have not seen hot chocolate.
No, I haven't looked for hot chocolate.
I didn't look for it either, but I don't remember seeing that. So as far as the hot teas, they've got this huge selection of hot teas. But, in worst case scenario, if I would have, been desperate, I could have brewed some hot tea and, made my own iced. But it wasn't that big of a deal, like he said.
I did hear a few people going when I was looking for lemonade when it was out, and the coffee machines were also out. So I don't know if it's a staffing thing. We do know we were invited to the past passenger event, even though this is our first time on MSC. The reason why we were invited is MSC status matches other cruise lines. So if you've cruised another cruise line and have a decent status, for instance, we're platinums on Carnival. And so when we booked, we put in the information, yes, we're this and boom. All of a sudden, we were upgraded. And so we're now like in their second to top tier, as though we've been, sailing with forever, right? But we have not. This is our first time. Anyway, during that, they were talking a lot that they're turning over about 100 crew people every single time they pop into port. And so some of that could play, as of this time right now, into some of the small funkiness of things, right? Where they're getting their crew, their new crew, up to snuff. But generally speaking, none of it has been horrible. The most horrible thing, to be honest, is the elevators. I talked about it last night. We will end with it again tonight. Please, 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 for the love of God.
And your fellow passengers.
Go watch the short we put out that says how to work a digital elevator. Infuriating, okay? That will teach you how to operate these things. It's going to save everyone a lot of headaches, okay?
Sure.
The cliff notes, they are digital. We had somebody comment on it last night. Hang on, there's a special name for these things, and I just can't remember what they are. So give me a second here, and I'm going to pull that up because it's important. Comments. There we go. Where is it? Destination comments. I can't believe it. I'm not going to be able to find it quickly.
Yeah, here, take your time. While he's looking for that, I will definitely tell you, I met a couple today when I was standing around waiting for the elevator. That came up to me and they said, "What floor is that going to?" And I, told them what floor I was going to. And I said, "Is that where you need to go?" They said, "Yes." So I punched the floor in and I said, 2 people, right? And I pushed the button twice and I told them, that this is a digital elevator and it's a smart elevator and you have to tell it how many people are going to get on, because it won't allow more than the capacity. But if you don't tell the elevator how many people are on there, it's going to load up and there's not going to be room for everybody. They still had no idea. This was the seventh day. Yeah. The last day of the cruise. They've been on for a whole week.
I don't know how they've been getting around.
They had no idea how to work the elevator.
Yeah. It's not hard. There's
it's not.
On the
really
outside,
in
every elevator. Every bank of elevators, there's a set of 2 on each side. So if you're in the main bank, there's 4 elevators on the port side and 4 elevators on the starboard side. Outside of each pair of 2 is like an iPad. It's a touchpad. And when you get close to it, it lights up and it shows all the cabin decks that elevator can go to. So you just push whichever one you want to go to. And it'll go ding. It'll tell you the actual elevator that you're going to need to get on. It will also tell you how long before that elevator is about to arrive. Now, that's done it for you because you touched it one time. If there's 2 of you in your party, you have to touch it twice. that lets the elevator know that there are 2 people on this deck that need to get on an elevator. Which, by the way, it was an elevator guy who knows about this stuff that left a comment. His screen name, oddly enough, is Elevators of Southern NC. So he's an elevator guy. These type of elevators are called Destination Dispatch. These models are Schindler Port. I mean, this guy knows about elevators. Anyway, it happened again tonight. We're on our way to dinner. We get on the elevator with a group of 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people, whatever it was. We were really full on that elevator. And sure enough, we go down one floor and stop, and the elevator's open, and 20 more people are trying to get on.
There. Yeah.
And I tried to video and show, but I couldn't get the phone high enough above my head to show you. That's how packed we were in there. And it happened 2 more floors.
Yeah.
So please, 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 please. If you're going to get on the elevator, whatever deck you go to, touch it for however many times. Touch it once, it'll go ding. Hit the back button. Touch it again for however many people are in your party. It'll let that elevator know how many people are getting on there. And then you never have to wait.
Yeah.
Right? Or have those frustrating moments when the elevator opens up and there's already 25 people in there.
Yeah, it'll just assign another elevator.
Yep.
So, but if you're, like you said, if you're not telling it how many people are getting onto the elevator, it doesn't know that there are, actually 20 people waiting on 2 more floors. So it just increases your wait time.
Yes, it does. All right. Well, look, guys, it has been a blast coming to you live every night here from the MSC Seaside. So let's have an applause. We know there has been some horrible internet challenges, which is probably where we should really end on. There's been 2 nights where we've had to re-upload this broadcast. I promise you tonight is going to be a 3rd because I got the notification that we lost signal 15 minutes ago. And so Lisa and I have been just diligently sitting here by ourselves talking to the faux audience that is no longer there because YouTube cut us off, or actually the internet
Wi-Fi,
did.
yeah.
So as the asterisk to whether you should book here or not, if the internet is going to be a thing for you, then currently this is not your cruise line.
Agreed.
If you're looking to unplug, that's great. It's been on and off. They are obviously not on Starlink. If they were on Starlink, this would not be an issue. And I know I'm not saying MSC, but the cruise lines, they're all converting because it is
So
Starlink is that much more dependable, and it's lightning fast, right? So anyway, not Starlink, not lightning fast. We're talking to ourselves. But we have a good time talking to ourselves. We have such a good time here. Here's a little of this for you. All right. On that note, everybody, we appreciate every single one of you. If you've stayed this far and watched the whole thing and you're new to our channel, God bless you guys. Thanks for staying through. Hit that subscribe button, thumbs up, the notification bell. It'll let you know when we're on the next ship recording live again. All right. Until we see you all again on the wide open seas, be safe.